It's another quick video. I started to do something and then thought I'd share it. Um, First off, my wife is always on me for having garbage cans and stuff in the back. So, this is not high tech, high promotion. Let me tell you a story. It's about this bag right here. And I may have mentioned it before, but I don't know. About maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I was fishing in the spot I always fish. I have a particular spot. And for whatever reason, and I don't know where I left it, maybe on the top of the car, on a pick, I don't know where I left this, but I left this bag somewhere. And I lost it. And I went back to where I fished and it wasn't there. I was very despondent. It's full of all my gear, and everything is in the pack. So I ended up going out and buying a new pack. That was as close to this one as I could get because I really, really like this one. So I'm happily fishing with this pack. And then, like 2 years after I lost this pack, I get a phone call. And it's from some guy in a town near us. And he was a contractor, and he was in a town that was downstream of where I fish, but 2 dams past that. 3 dams past where I fish. So, downstream is seriously downstream. So, anyways, he called. He said, I have a bag with your phone number on it. And I said, what do you mean? I couldn't even remember what he was talking about. He says, yeah, it's like a bag and there's a whole bunch of flies and gear in it. And I said, oh my God, that's my bag from, I said, I lost it almost 2 years ago. And he said, well, some guy came out of the woods. He was he was working on a park or something. He was doing something in a park, he said. And some character, homeless guy or whatever, came out with this bag. He said it was soaking wet, and said, would I want to buy this? And the guy says, I gave him $10, and then I saw that your number was on it, and so I give you a call. Well, I said, yeah, that's my bag, and I gave him a description. He says, well, you're perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy to have you pick it up. So I drove to the town that he lived in, which is about 15 miles away. And as it turns out, I walked up the curb, and he walks out the door. He goes, oh, hi, Mike, how you doing? It was a former student of mine. He's become a contractor. So I was a high school teacher. And so anyways, he said, yeah, here's the bag, and I looked at it, and everything was exactly, nothing was taken out of it. The tools were a little bit rusty, whatever. So, I've covered this up to protect the innocent, me. But basically, usually I write my number and something like that. I think I started doing that in school when I was teaching. We were one of the early schools to give students computers, and we didn't want them stolen, so we would basically deface them with our school phone number and stuff on them. So I realized that I was just looking at that bag, but the other day I had forgotten this bag and actually went back to get it, and it was still sitting there on the picnic table, and then realized I hadn't done that to the new bag, which is almost 2 years old now, and 3 years old now, and some of my rod bags. Normally I do on this bag I do have my phone number on it, but this one I hadn't put my phone number on it. So today I just thought I would do that. So this $1 pen can save you. I don't know how much. I don't even want to know how much was in that bag, as far as flies and. You know how it adds up. I'd hate for my wife to ever find out what's in that bag. So I'm going to start I got out my Sharpie pen, and I'm going to label all my equipment as an insurance policy because I know it works. So I hope that that inspires you to get your Sharpie out right now. Get it out right out, right. Don't put it off. Get it out. Grab your bag. Put your number on it, and then maybe if you leave it somewhere, you'll get it back. All right, that's all I have to say for today. Thanks a lot, and I'm going to start writing right now.